90-Day Fiance star Sarper is learning to behave with Shekina, but happiness is. 90-Day Fiance, the other way couple Sarper Guven and Shekina Garner have had quite the journey, and despite all that they've been through, they're still thankfully together. Recently, however, Guven gave an interview in which he admitted that he feels like he's been living at the extreme ends of the happiness spectrum after leaving his life in Turkey. On March 14, 2025, Guven and Garner both had a brief chat with People and shared how the two of them are adjusting to their new life in the US. Guven, a personal trainer and fitness coach, is of the view that he had a peaceful life back in Turkey, but being in the US on K-1 visa and not having a bank account or the ability to work really affects him. He went on to share his 2 cents about the whole situation in the following words. Guven has previously admitted to having a body count of nearly 3,000 women. So before he moved to the US, both Garner and Guven specifically thought that the biggest problem in their relationship would be him being monogamous. However, according to the fitness coach, that hasn't been a problem in the slightest. Sarper Guven was a relationship virgin before Shekina Garner. Although he revealed having a body count of over 3,000 women, Guven had never been in a proper relationship with anyone before Garner. Their relationship began when they matched online, and it led Garner, who is from Los Angeles, to travel to Turkey to meet Sarper in person. As their romance deepened, Shekina decided to relocate to Turkey to pursue the relationship further. However, challenges arose when Sarper's past and commitment issues surfaced, and caused repeated conflicts between the two of them. Despite tension, their relationship moved forward, and Sarper eventually proposed to Shekina in Turkey, simultaneously receiving approval for his K-1 visa to the United States. Now that they're living in the US, Guven says that when things get tough for Garner, it has him feeling down, too. He expressed his sentiments about this in the same interview, in the following words. Garner, on the other hand, clapped back at him in the same light-hearted banter, and said, "That's your fault if it's a one." All 6 seasons of 90-Day Fiance, The Other Way are available to stream on Discovery Plus and TLC. 90-Day, Stacey calls out Georgie for making jabs at sister Darcey's expense after she gets too drunk at anniversary party. Stacey Silva and Florian Sukic have joined Darcey Silva and Georgie Rusev for an epic anniversary party in Bulgaria, but Georgie has grown increasingly frustrated with his wife's antics. On the September 21st episode of 90-Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, the two couples reunited for the first time in weeks at a Bulgarian dance studio, where they prepared a special dance for Darcey and Georgie's upcoming wedding anniversary party. Darcey was excited to have her twin sister join her in Bulgaria for the big day, explaining to cameras, "My sister's never missed a big moment in my life." But Stacey was more concerned about her twins' relationship. "I want to show Darcey my love and support because I just feel like a lot of times I don't think it's fair the way Georgie treats my sister," she said in a confessional. Stacey wasted no time holding Georgie's feet to the fire after greetings were said and done. First, she pressed him about if he was enjoying their vacation, which he claimed to be enjoying. "Everything's good?" "Because I kind of heard there's been some ups and downs," Stacey asked, to which Georgie said, "Well, we know wherever your sister is, there's some drama." That answer did not sit well with Stacey as she admitted that Darcey may not always be easy to live with, but she still felt worried for her sister. Georgie, however, was more concerned about what Stacey might do at the wedding. "Hopefully Stacey is on her best behavior," he said in a confessional, as Darcey insisted there would be no twin drama between her and her sister. The next day, it was time to party. Darcey even had Stacey bring all of their wedding attire, including Georgie's tuxedo and her busty wedding dress, to Bulgaria. However, Georgie was not thrilled with Darcey's outfit choice, once again. "It doesn't make me feel very comfortable," he said in a confessional. She had all this time to figure out what to wear. What is she expecting? Ultimately, Georgie opted to give up this argument instead. So the two couples then ventured to the venue, which left Darcey impressed. "Wow. Your mom and dad went all out," she exclaimed as their car pulled up to the curb. Entering the party, Darcey was most concerned about having to meet the rest of Georgie's family. "That's a lot of pressure for me," she explained in a confessional, because to feel accepted into their family is the most beautiful feeling, and I just want to make sure that everybody loves me. So after taking part in several more Bulgarian traditions, it was game time for Darcy. First, she exchanged some hugs with Georgie's parents, who were thrilled with the turnout. Darcy then made her way around the room, with a wine glass in hand, and met each and every person who attended the gathering. Meanwhile, Georgie was very affectionate toward his wife all evening long, something both Stacy and Florian were not used to seeing. "It's nice to see Darcy and Georgie let loose and have fun," Stacy said. "I feel like this is how they should be all the time," added Florian. "This was the first time I've seen Georgie giving attention to her and having fun with her," he explained, noting that both Darcy and Georgie were acting like it was the first day they met. But the longer the night went, the drunker Darcy got. Georgie admitted that Bulgarian parties usually have a lot of drinks, but suggested that Darcy enjoyed his family's wine a little bit too much. Even Stacy and Florian noticed that Darcy was getting tipsy. But Darcy did not seem to care, stating, "Hey, I'd rather be me," while slurring her words. Eventually, the party came to an end. Stacy helped carry the train of Darcy's dress as her sister stumbled across the room, gave Georgie's parents a hug goodbye and headed out the door. "I feel blessed that everybody could gather," Darcy said in a confessional. "It's a memory to cherish for a lifetime," added Georgie. "I love these moments when you get together with the family. They're very meaningful and recharging. That's what I was missing for the last 13 years. But things quickly spiraled once the two couples hopped in their car to go home. Darcy began feeling unwell, and soon found herself vomiting out the car door. "I've never seen you throw up like this before," Stacy said while holding her sister's hair. Meanwhile, Georgie cracked some jokes at his wife's expense. Both Darcy and Stacy asked Georgie to stop, but he simply laughed off the request. In a confessional, Stacy expressed her displeasure with Georgie's response, suggesting he should have been more focused on caring for his wife. "He should be there supporting her, loving her, not making jabs," she explained. She then turned to Florian and said, "You would never let me do that. I mean, you would at least hold my hair." Matt got jealous after Annie's confession. While Matt seemed confused, his demeanor hinted at jealousy. I think he felt like Annie's affection toward him was just an act, and she wanted to be with Amani. That realization must have stung since he was the one who had caught real feelings for Annie during this whole process. It probably felt like he was being pushed out of the throuple, and I don't blame him for wanting to back out. Annie not wanting him felt personal. And to top it off, it was Amani who put him in that situation. No wonder he asked for time to think. Matt has been unhappy with Amani for a long time. This isn't the first time Matt has been upset with Amani, who always gets things done her way. Amani is the primary breadwinner in the family, with Matt being a stay-at-home dad. Since she bears the financial responsibility of the house, Amani also seems to enjoy wearing the pants in the relationship. The few moments he could spend alone with Annie made Matt feel fully liberated. He may have liked the independence and the way he could be himself around Annie, who didn't expect anything but love from him. Matt and Annie had th. In episode 11, Amani confessed she felt like she drove a wedge between Annie and Matt by telling him that Annie loved her more than him. She understood that her words made Matt feel like he didn't belong in the relationship. To show him he is an equal in the relationship, Amani sets up a cute date between Matt and Annie. She was looking forward to seeing how it would turn out. At the same time, I got why Amani was nervous, because it was the first time she had ever let her husband go on a date with another woman. The one-on-one time Amani gave Matt and Annie could have been her biggest mistake yet. Matt and Annie had a great time together, enough for them to forget about Amani's existence. It gave 90 Day Fiance viewers a peek into what would happen if Matt and Amani got divorced and Matt married Annie. This would mean the pair would slowly phase out the throuple relationship, leaving Amani alone. I suppose it's the best thing that could happen to all three of them, since Amani and Matt don't seem to have any love between them.